The Nazarene Youth Quizzing Rules and Guidelines, Section 9, lines 1 through 32, provides the rules for the use of challenges, rebuttals, and appeals. These should be reviewed in company with this video. Challenges, rebuttals, and appeals sound more like the stuff of a courtroom drama or a collegiate debate than that of Nazarene Youth Quizzing. However, they have an important function in a quiz round as well. They provide the means by which quizzers can attempt to correct a quizmaster's potentially mistaken rulings or restore fairness when a question or the room environment has put the answering quizzer at an unnecessary disadvantage. After a quizmaster has ruled on the answer to a toss-up question, and if necessary, bonus questions have been asked, answered, and ruled upon, and before the pre-announcing of the next toss-up question, the acting captain, and only the acting captain, of any team involved in the quiz round may challenge the quizmaster's ruling or appeal the fairness of the question or the question's answering environment. The captain must do this without any communication with the coach, other quizzers, or audience members. If such communication occurs, the captain's right to challenge or appeal is lost. The captain is permitted to ask the quizmaster to share the question-answer combination on the paper before making a challenge or appeal, but this must be done without prompting from any other person and in an immediate fashion. If the captain believes the quizmaster has possibly ruled incorrectly, he or she would stand at the appropriate time. If desired, the captain would ask the quizmaster for the question-answer combination on the paper. If the captain is convinced that the quizmaster's ruling is mistaken, the captain would then state that she or he would like to challenge that ruling. This often done by saying, "May I challenge?" or "I would like to challenge." As long as there wasn't any communication prior to the request, the quizmaster will allow it. A challenge presents a logical perspective or argument based on the scripture and/or rules of youth quizzing that clarifies why the quizmaster's ruling was incorrect. When challenging, the captain should recap the question-answer combination and, depending on the circumstance, highlight why the answer is sufficient or deficient before proposing what the quizmaster should do in light of this new information. For example, a captain might say, the answer, his disciples, given to the question, "Who told Jesus Herod had John beheaded in prison?" was insufficient because it didn't distinguish between whether Jesus or John's disciples were the ones doing the telling. Therefore, I believe your original ruling should be changed and the answer counted as incorrect. Or a captain might say, since a context question allows a quizzer to formulate answers from more than one biblical passage, all of the question-answer combinations given to the question that began, "From what Old Testament book does the following quotation come?" should be accepted. Since all the question-answer combinations were accurate and no erroneous information was included, and since the question-answer combination on the paper was included among the question-answer combinations given, I believe your original ruling should be changed and the answer counted as correct. After a challenge has been made, the quizmaster will then allow the opposing team's captain opportunity to stand and offer a rebuttal. A rebuttal attempts to answer the challenge by highlighting weak logic, misunderstanding, or erroneous information in the challenge. It seeks to emphasize how the quizmaster's original ruling was correct. It follows a similar flow of thought to the challenge. The rebuttal restates the question-answer combination and the point of contention raised by the challenge. It then provides the rationale based on the scripture or YBQ rules for why the quizmaster's original ruling was correct. The rebuttal then concludes by asking the quizmaster to keep his or her original ruling. For example, A captain may rebut, when my teammate was answering the question, who told Jesus Herod had John beheaded in prison, he clarified his answer of his disciples by later adding the descriptor, those who took John's body and buried it. That is how John's disciples are described in the previous verse. Since this is sufficient clarification to satisfy the answer on your paper, I believe your original ruling should stand and the answer remain counted as correct. Or a captain might rebut, while a context question allows a quizzer to formulate answers from more than one biblical passage, one of the multiple question-answer combinations used to complete from what Old Testament book does the following quotation comes was erroneous. The quote, "Out of Egypt I called my son," is from Hosea, not Exodus, as the quizzer stated. Since the quizzer gave erroneous information, even though she gave you the question-answer combination on the paper, I believe your original ruling should stand and the answer continue as in error. A few things to remind your quizzers about giving a challenge or a rebuttal. 1. Be respectful in tone, words, and body language when addressing the quizmaster or referencing the other team. Be concise. Speak with confidence and boldness. Look at the quizmaster when talking. A ruling, not a person, is what is at issue. Attack the logic of the ruling or challenge, but never attack a person. 2. Choose words carefully and avoid giving specific scriptural information that is erroneous. 3. A second overruled challenge, and every overruled challenge thereafter, results in 10 points being deducted from the team's score. So choose when to challenge thoughtfully. While the first challenge can be used without fear of consequence, using it too soon may mean risking losing 10 points at a crucial point later in the game. An appeal is a request to the quizmaster to throw out a question because of quizmaster error, due to ambiguous or erroneous information contained in either the question or answer, or because of auditory or visual interference within the quiz environment. If an ambulance with sirens blaring pulls into the parking lot while a question is being read or answered, or if a what question is asked that has a who answer, or if quizmaster fails to pre-announce a question, a captain would want to appeal the question. He or she would say, "I would like to appeal the question." Then the captain would state their reason for doing so, to ask, "What is lifted up?" When the answer is the Son of Man, is misleading because the Son of Man is a who. The captain would then appeal for the question to be thrown out. I believe the quizzer was placed at an unfair disadvantage by the improper grammar, and the question should be thrown out and a replacement question given. A few things to remember when it comes to appeals. 1. There is no rebuttal following an appeal. 2. No points are ever deducted for a denied appeal, and there is no limit to the number of appeals that may be made in a round. 3. When appealing an ambiguous question or a question with misleading grammar, be certain of your biblical knowledge. Avoid giving specific scriptural information that is erroneous in this situation. 4. It is a quizzer's responsibility to maintain his or her focus and attention on the quiz at hand. Anything less than an excessive distraction will not be considered worthy of an appeal based on interference in the quiz environment. Teach your captains that they are entrusted with a special power. When they challenge and rebut potentially incorrect rulings or appeal unfair questions or their environment, and when they do this with respect for others and using sound logic, they are activating helpful safeguards that keep a quiz round fair and accurate and fun. Everyone involved will be grateful when they give positive leadership through these means. so encourage them to know the scriptures and lead with confidence.